On November the 21st, Russia escalated its war again in Ukraine, deploying for the first time in combat a ballistic missile modified for intermediate-range use. Initially named the RS-26 Rubezh and later rebranded by Putin during his evening address as Oreshnik, this move marks a dangerous new chapter in the war. One, the West cannot afford to watch from the sidelines. Though initially mistaken for an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, experts clarified its classification as an intermediate-range weapon. Definitions aside, the intent was unmistakable. A deliberate act of fear and intimidation aimed not only at Ukraine but the West, a reminder that the Kremlin is trying to claim its red lines as still inviolable. The Oreshnik missile carries 6 warheads with multiple submunitions, travels at over Mach 11, as reported by Ukrainian intelligence chief Budanov, and boasts an accuracy of apparently 100 meters. This advanced weaponry poses a significant challenge to Ukraine's current defense systems, even with the presence of Patriot batteries. Ukrainian authorities have urgently called for the provision of US missile defense systems such as Sad-That, GMD, and Aegis Ashore, capable of knocking these missiles down. However, Putin maintains that no defense system in the world is capable of intercepting the Oreshnik. Yep, we've heard this all before. About the Kinjal missiles, claims now debunked as Western-provided Patriot missile systems have successfully neutralized them on multiple occasions. The missile strike on Dnipro, while causing minimal physical damage, has actually had an outsized psychological impact, especially on the West. Video footage captured the missile streaking heavy clouds, creating an almost cinematic display of destruction, perfect fodder for propaganda. This missile is more than just a military asset. It is a psychological weapon. The Kremlin's aim is to instill fear, particularly in Western nations, stirring nuclear paranoia and encouraging calls for a ceasefire at any cost to Ukraine. Decades of pop culture have left many in the West with a huge fear of nuclear escalation. The Kremlin exploits this, using the Oreshnik strike to manipulate public opinion and potentially influence upcoming elections in Europe. For instance, in Germany, fears of escalation could sway voters towards candidates who are less inclined to support Ukraine, under the misguided notion that this will reduce the risk of nuclear war. The Oreshnik strike highlights the precarious balancing act of Western powers. Critics argue that the Biden administration's measured support for Ukraine emboldens Russia to test new boundaries like this. But while the US has consistently aimed to support Ukraine without provoking a broader conflict, the development of the Oreshnik missile challenges this strategy. And now the question is whether this incident will serve as a wake-up call, promoting the reassessment of the West's incremental approach to this war. Could this missile strike be the turning point that reshapes the war and global power dynamics in Ukraine's favor?